All right, so have you ever uh, thought about how easy it is to be tricked by what you see?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we all assume what we see is real, right?
Right, but what if what we were seeing wasn't actually real at all? Like, what if it was some kind of elaborate trick?
Oh, wow. Yeah, now you're getting into uh some deep philosophical stuff
Yeah,
though.
hold on to your hats because that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Uh
The world of hyperrealistic silicone masks.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So like those masks that are so real they can fool like anyone.
Exactly. And it turns out they're being used in crimes in ways you wouldn't believe.
Okay, so this is way more than just like Halloween costumes, right?
Way more. So we've been reading up on all the latest cases and research on this, and let me tell you, this is some seriously creepy stuff.
I bet. I mean, I've seen those masks online and they're pretty freaky. Like, how do they even make them so real?
Well, it's a combination of like advanced material science and special effects technology, right?
Right, right. So it's like Hollywood stuff trickling down into, well, I guess the criminal world.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so disturbing. Okay, so picture this. You're looking at someone, but it's not actually them. It's a mask.
Okay, yeah, that's already pretty unsettling.
Right. And it gets worse because these masks are so good, they can even fool security cameras and facial recognition systems.
Whoa, okay. So we're not talking about just like disguises. This is next level stuff. Like, how are the police even supposed to catch anyone?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the stakes are incredibly high. We're talking about wrongful convictions, international fraud, you name it.
Okay, I'm hooked. What are some of the craziest cases you've come across?
Oh, man, where do I even begin? Okay, so there was this case in Ohio, this guy named Conrad Zidzirak. He used a silicone mask to make himself look like a black man while he was robbing banks.
Oh, wow. Wait, so he was trying to like frame someone else?
Yep, and it worked. They actually arrested and convicted an innocent man who just happened to look like the mask.
That's messed up. I mean, talk about the ultimate betrayal of trust, right? You think you're seeing one person and bam, it's someone else entirely.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
There was this other case, the Geezer Bandit in California.
Oh, yeah.
This guy used a mask to make himself look like an old man, and he got away with robbing banks for years.
Oh, wow. So he was playing on the whole harmless old man stereotype.
Exactly. He knew people wouldn't suspect him because, well, who would suspect a grandpa?
That's pretty clever, I guess, but also really messed up.
Totally. And then there was this case in North Carolina where the whole stereotype thing got flipped on its head.
Oh, how so?
Well, this time, it was a black man who used a mask to make himself look like an old white guy.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not just about hiding your identity. It's about using these masks to exploit people's biases.
You got it. It adds a whole other layer of complexity, and it's pretty terrifying to think about.
It is. Like, how do you even begin to fight that? If you can't trust what you see, then what can you trust?
Right. And these masks are being used for way more than just robberies.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, remember that story about the guy who used a silicone mask to illegally get into Canada on an Air Canada flight?
Oh, yeah, right. So we're talking immigration fraud, too.
Uh-huh. And then there's the whole identity theft angle.
Oh, right, right. Like you could steal someone's identity and then use a mask to actually look like them?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can get even crazier. You won't believe this one, but someone actually used a silicone mask to impersonate the French defense minister.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Seriously. This scammer pretended to be Jean-Yves Le Drian and managed to con people out of millions of euros.
Wow. That's not just petty crime anymore. We're talking about like international intrigue and high-level fraud.
And possibly even political manipulation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can impersonate a high-ranking government official, who knows what you could do?
Yeah, that's a scary thought. It's like something out of a spy movie.
And it's happening in real life. And then there was that case in Brazil where a drug lord's daughter tried to bust him out of prison using a mask that made her look like him.
Oh, man, that's some serious dedication and desperation.
And then there was this casino case where the criminal used a mask to make himself look older, but he also had a fake ID to match.
Oh, wow. So they're combining the masks with other forms of identity theft.
Yep, it's like a whole new level of criminal sophistication.
So after hearing all this, like, how do we even protect ourselves? If we can't trust our own eyes, what can we trust?
It's a tough question. I mean, one of the big things the experts are saying is that we need to raise public awareness, especially among law enforcement.
Yeah, they need to be trained to spot these masks, right?
Right. And we also need better technology, like ways to detect these disguises that are even more advanced.
Makes you wonder if we'll have to start regulating these masks like we do with guns.
That's a whole other can of worms, right? But it's a conversation we need to have. Because if we don't, well, who knows what the future holds.
It's a scary thought. I mean, we're already living in a world where it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake online.
Exactly. And now with these masks, it's spilling over into the real world too.
It's like we're living in a science fiction novel or something.
It really is. So I guess the takeaway here is be vigilant, question what you see, and maybe don't trust anyone over 6 feet tall wearing a mask.
Okay, maybe not that last part. But yeah, it's a crazy world out there, folks. Be careful.
Stay safe out there, everyone, and always keep your eyes peeled. You never know who or what might be lurking beneath the surface.